their wish, their desire was that that precious number wouldn't smudge. And so Enrique is virtually penniless, so he goes the only way he can, gripping onto the tops and sides of freight trains, heading up the length of Mexico. I found that there were thousands of kids making this journey in this way each year. The youngest boy I found was 7 years old. I rode with this 12-year-old boy, Dennis. He was coming to find his mom in San Diego. I would not have believed that children at 7 or 12 would traverse 4 countries alone. A lot of that time gripping onto the freight train. I think a lot of your parents at that age, those ages, wouldn't let you go to school or grocery store alone. These kids were traversing 4 countries. It's an incredible adventure. It's also harrowing beyond belief. Most of these kids, they never, made it out of Mexico, past Mexico. They tried many, many times to get through it and couldn't, and ended up back in their home countries, really defeated by something terrible, usually, that had happened to them in Mexico. And some of them were killed in Mexico. They're torn apart by the train wheels. And all of them are hunted down like animals all along the way by all these different actors trying to harm them. There are these bandits, Mexican bandits, who operate along the rails. And this at the time was the most famous immigration checkpoint in southern Mexico called La Rosera. When the train would slow, the migrants would creep down the ladders, and the trick was going to be to get around, elude the immigration agents, get around this 3-mile checkpoint, and get on the train as it's moving on the other side of the checkpoint. But during those 3 miles, there were 3 to 5 swarms of bandits, armed with everything from machetes to Uzis. The police don't have Uzis, but a lot of the bandits who are former cops did manage to have Uzis. If that didn't get you, oftentimes the corrupt cops would. There'd be about a dozen police agencies I found in Mexico that targeted the migrants on top of these trains. They'd grab them, line them all up, rob them of hats, shoes, belts, whatever coins they found, and sometimes rape the girls, and then they would deport them back to the southern border, as they were getting ready to do with these youngsters who I was with. If those 2 things don't get you, oftentimes